Hey everybody, Texas Stroker Airlines, Performance Shop, Lone Star Mopars, and coming in from above, we've got another quick look at some stuff we picked up from KC Tools. So, in the first one I explained to you how it all started, how this crazy accumulation of German greatness started. And that's because I really liked Wiha Screwdrivers, and then I decided I was going to pull the trigger on them, trying to figure out where to get them from, and we stumbled upon KC Tool. One thing leads to another, and next thing you know, you've invested an awful lot of time and money in finding the world's greatest screwdriver, or attempting to anyway. So, something that we're going to include in that set is this stuff here, and it will be a long-term process, but we're gonna do our best to make it happen. So, we'll go ahead and just run through here as best we can. I've got to tell you, these right here were something I didn't plan to purchase. These Wiha Pro Turn, these are gray. You know that I said the blue ones were my favorite, and I love them. These are all anti-cam out. You can sort of, you probably can't, let's be honest. But if you could, you would see that these have like striations in the blade. They're just designed to do what you would think they do, prevent the screw from camming out. These are on clearance at like amazing prices. This is a very long slotted screwdriver. I don't know that I paid $4 for it. I think everything I got in this gray handle for the anti-cam out was like $3. Hanging hole, awesome. Cannot complain at that price point. Wera, everyone's seemingly favorite German screwdriver. I thought the design was dorky, like it was the least appealing to me. It's unique, I'll give it that. I thought it looked small as well. Like it looked big here, but like overall, compared to the others I looked at, it looked small. Now that I have the thing, it is pretty comfortable, but I still stand by what I thought, that it's relatively small. This one is their 2x150mm, so 6-inch. This has their much talked about laser etched tip here, which, again, this isn't a showcase of just this screwdriver. You can kind of see it there. I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. Now, how long it will last, that's what's going to be important to me. But we can get in on the action. We'll see if everyone's right or if they're all crazy, and just went with what one person happened to say. Once again, I picked up several of these just because the price was so good, and I already knew that I loved the handle. This is basically the same thing as the blue ones. It is how this all began. But again, it's anti-cam out, so there's like the textured striations there. And this is going to be the 150-inch, so, sorry, 150mm 6-inch, getting ahead of myself there. And a little bit bigger of a blade. So, we'll throw that to the side. Right here, we got another one of them. This is going to be the number 2 Phillips by 6-inch on the handle. Item 46815 if you want to go looking for it. Once again, this is kind of interesting with Wiha because so much of it is Germany, but a lot of it is in America. And I've got to say, if you tried out these handles, or if you're thinking that you might like the handles based on seeing them in this video, I love them, and at the price point for these screwdrivers, you can't really go wrong, even if you hated them. So, getting ourselves some nice setups here. And, up next, we've got the Wiha number 52120 micro finish. This is the number 2x200. Now, why am I getting all these different links? Well, for most people, I would say 4-inch would be the most common. And for me, I would say I prefer a 6-inch. And I don't have 8-inch. This is my first time feeling this, by the way. This is like their version of the soft grip that's textured. It's basically resistant to chemicals. I don't really like the feel of it in my hand, and I don't like the color. But it does look to have a very nice tip, and I'm excited to see how it holds up. They do make these in striking cap as well, but this might actually be nice. Again, if your hands were oily, which I typically wipe them off before I grab something, but I guess if you're working for the man, you got, you know, time, X time, Y things to do. Maybe you don't take that step of wiping your hands off and reach for this. I believe the way it feels, you would probably be okay. It's got a nice textured grip to it. Up next, let's go with this. We have, once again, if you didn't know, I am truly a fan of the Wiha stuff, Felo stuff as well. This, why did I pick it up? It was the shortest stubby I could find. The problem with a lot of stubbies is yeah, they're stubby, but they're still too big. This one is not. It's the shortest one I could get, and I've got things, particularly rear window moldings and dash stuff, that I think this is going to work really, really well with. So that remains to be seen. If that doesn't work, I saw this. I think it was on sale. I've never bought anything like this in my life, and now that I have it, I'm questioning why I didn't. Because, holy frick. Where that stubby, I told you, was the shortest thing I'd ever seen. This is from Felo once again, but check this out. You know, these are like the dorky things you think you'd never use, and again, I was just kind of bringing it in, seeing what it's like. I think I'm going to use the snot out of this thing. Obviously, you know, you're going to be limited because it does curve down, but again, this is way, way better than what we would have with our typical setup with the stubby screwdriver. This is going to provide maximum clearance, and I think I will be using that an awful lot. In fact, I think I'm going to use it before I use that stubby, and if I like it, I'm probably going to buy some more of those. So, after that, we have right here, I believe it's Stavilla. It just had this really cool, the dash, right? 6870B bodies, rally cluster. It looks like it's based off of a, you know, bomber, a fighter plane, right? Aviation type of stuff. That's, I guess, sort of what Stavilla specializes in, and of course the other side has the wrench in their name, but this side says remove before flight. I thought that was kind of cool for a keychain, and it was cheap and affordable, so we pulled the trigger. This right here is actually pretty dadgum cool, and this is how I'm going to get my foray into the Wiha soft grip. I'll give them a full shake here. 31137. This is, note, the measure up. Phillips number 2 with scale, and you're like, what? Come on, what is this about? What gimmick is this? Is it not enough? I'll probably not have to buy a number 2 screwdriver for a very long time, but red and black, not really my color scheme, but I do actually like it. And I will tell you, this does feel pretty nice in my hand. With Wiha, this right here, their soft grip, that tends to be what people prefer. I, for whatever reason, like these cheaper Pro Turn handles, but we'll give them all some equal time. Now, the tip looks awesome, but if you know it, you're like, what's all that crud? You know, what's this jibber jabber? I can't read that. Well, if it would focus, you would see what it is, and I think you can there. It's actually a ruler, and we come in, you can see 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and then of course it's a 4 inch shaft, 100 millimeter. This actually has more uses than you think it would. If you don't have calipers, if you're not able to measure depth with them, or if you're in a situation where you don't want to bring your expensive Sterritt crud underneath the vehicle or something, you can actually use this. And if you're thinking, okay, I drilled through the frame rail, you know, what is that? You can get your tape measure and kind of eyeball it, or you could actually slide this through the hole that you just drilled and be like, all right, I'm going to need a 2.5 inch screw, you know, or I need a 3/8 by 2.5 inch bolt. That's what we're going to run through there, and I'm going to spin my flats, locks, and nuts, and I'm going to mount the fuel filter. So, while it does seem gimmicky, I think this will probably be one of my most used screwdrivers for the simple fact it serves a dual purpose that is actually going to be functional for me. Now, some people may not ever use it. This will also be good, like, just general interior work. If you're building, say, a stereo, a sub box, if you're working, checking clearances behind the dash, seeing where you can mount, you know, like an MSD box or something. If you know the profile of the MSD box, you can be like, well, hey, we don't have clearance there. Or, hey, this will fit perfectly behind the heater box. And you're doing it all with a screwdriver. That's a quality screwdriver and a comfortable one at that. So, I'm actually pretty excited about that one. Right here, I told you, I had some plans here. This is the Jadora 699 built holder for 1/4 inch drive power tools, or in our case, their handle, which is awesome. And then inside, we actually have that bit with the deburring. It looks like a B20 kind of to me, but they say it's an E8730 deburr set. So basically, that plugs in to this adapter. But the thing is, this adapter will use any 1/4 inch drive bit. That makes for some pretty cool possibilities here, and I think we'll have a standalone video on that. Coming up next, we've got this Felo 2K Grip Smart, and this thing I'm pretty damn excited about. And hopefully you share my sentiment. I just thought it was too cool to pass up. It's basically a little you know, you're like, oh, that's a really nice, that looks like your ergonics, you know, the yellow one you showed us in the first video, right? Well, it is, but it's red and black. But here's the catch. It's a bit holder, right? So we could come in, we can put any 1/4-inch bit, we can put adapters and extend it out, whatever we need to do. But, trying to see how this works. What does that do? Is it like some cool gun? No, sadly. But, look at that. It's a T-handle. So if you come in here and you're, say, working with torque stuff, or, you know, hex keys, and you've got all your bits or assortments, you can come in here and you can do that, and you can transition from basically, you know, a really, really nice stubby handle to basically a full-blown T-handle just like that. That, to me, that was cool. And it feels just as good as I'd hoped it would. Again, I absolutely love that ergonics handle on our yellow Felo. It's just a situation where I'm not quite sure about the amount of dirt it's collecting. This is something, again, I based everything off of how well I like that ergonics handle. This is going to be similar to what we just took a look at, but it's a complete bit set, and it's tiny. As you can see there, it's going to include the handle, the bit holder, and a whole bunch of bits, and a box, and I can't wait to see that. Last but not least, we actually have something from KC Tools themselves. That's right, they do more than just sell. This is a pretty nice, I haven't put it together, but you can tell by the thickness, I think it's 1/2-inch aluminum. This is a KCT 8301 KC Tool aluminum benchtop stand for precision tools. They make a 25-hole version, and they've got a 50-hole version. This one will be 5 by 10, and then these 2 holes here on the perimeter, that's actually going to be where you run some hex screws down. My only complaint when I looked at these is why that wasn't like flush, especially being 1/2 inch. You could totally do it, but we'll do a quick video on that bad boy, and then of course we can throw it on the toolbox, on the bench. It's designed for precision screwdrivers, but I think anything, pretty much anything, probably with a 4-inch or shorter blade should be fine. So we'll use our Wiha measure up screwdriver to assess that upon completion. That said, man, this is tool haul number 2 from KC Tool, and the problem with this one was no t-shirt, which that's okay, but it shipped snail mail. The first one shipped FedEx. I got the FedEx one in 2 days. This one, it was guaranteed in 2 days, and I didn't get it for like 10. And that really sucked because I was looking forward to it. But if there's anything in here you want to see a more in-depth video on, feel free to let me know. And all these screwdrivers will come back to haunt all of us, because I plan to see which one does what best, what handle I like, how the tips hold up, everything. It's something, curiosity killed the cat, and it made me spend a bunch of money. So the good news is, like I said, if these hold up, if they're decent, I won't need screwdrivers for a really long time. But hey, it all started with the blue Wihas, and next thing I know, we got a box full of them coming. So, and we're not done yet. There's some other stuff on the way, and ultimately over time we'll figure it out. But we'll initially come in, kind of base it our in-hand initial impression assessment, aesthetics, a couple of other attributes we can throw in there, and then ultimately the long-term thing, we're going to have to use them all, and use them all considerably well, and see how they hold up to the test of time. That's the ultimate thing. So if it's a situation where this Wera that I'm not a fan of, like I love everything else that we opened up here so much more aesthetically, I will say again, to be fair, it does feel pretty good in my hand, but I don't have the right position when I'm comfortable. So we'll have to see how it goes, but hey, this thing could turn out to be so good of a tip, I don't even care about the others. I don't know, you don't know, we're going to find it out. If you got any input on any of these things, let me know. If you too go through strange cycles in your life, where you become hell-bent on figuring things out and get intrigued by what's available, you know, not just from my suppliers at work, you know, they all sell Klein stuff, Greenlee, Southwire, all the typicals, right? Stanley, Proto, you know, Wright, from your like machinist supply people. But it's a big world out there, man. There's all kinds of stuff not made in China, and there's a lot more brands not exclusive to America, right? And that's where this is kind of going. I'm kind of wanting to see what's out there, how things hold up, how they perform, the differences between them. I just find it very interesting, and if you're watching this, I assume you do too. So if there's anything here you want to see in more detail, just let me know in the comments section. But until next time, I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.